Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to set up your working environment, your user interface, and then to save the settings. I've got Solidworks 2017 open. You'll have a later version. It won't make much difference other than for mouse gesture. So first thing I'm going to do is open a file, which you will also need to do this. So a part file will do the trick. And I need to quickly go through the parts that constitute the user interface. So right at the top we have the menu bar. Okay, so you can access any one of these and get all the commands that you should want, right? And the rest of the environment, well, most of the rest of the environment is really just shortcuts to what happens here. Just below that, you would have a toolbar normally. Mine's disappeared because I've made it disappear. So if I right click on this area here, I should be able to go to any one of these. I think it's called main. Let's see if I can find main. Task pane. No, it isn't. Somewhere in here there is one standard. There it is, standard, right? You see, there we go. As I clicked standard, this toolbar appeared. So you can put as many toolbars as you want in there. You can put, say, screen capture in there, and you can keep adding, or you can take away. So I'm going to take away this standard one. Well, there are two reasons. I like it to be clean, and also because I'm trying to give the maximum space to show you what's happening. So below that is what's called the command manager. So that's these tabs here, one by one. And similar to what happened with the toolbars, if you click on one of the tabs with your right click button, you'll get all of the available command managers. So let's say, for instance, I don't use direct editing much. If I untick that box, it'll disappear. If I don't use weldments much, I can untick that one as well, and it'll disappear. So you can shorten, or you can make less cluttered your workspace. If I don't want this to show at the top at all, I can right click and I can untick the command manager button, and it'll put all those command manager strips down the side. And if I really want more space, I can click on this little hide feature manager area button, and it'll make that feature manager disappear as well. So to open it up, I just click on this button again, and if I want to show these at the top again, I just right click in an area and click under command manager, and that's where they'll go. So you set up your space to suit yourself. Other bits about this space, of this main area, is called the graphics area. We've already discussed that this is the feature manager. Next to it is the property manager, then the configuration manager, the dimension expert manager, and at the end, the display manager. We've been through some of what happens in the feature manager, and I'll go through that later, but there's not a lot to set up here. There is some you can, for instance, once you've got something going, you can, that's not going to happen now. I'll have to get something going to show you how you can hide certain parts of the tree to make it less cluttered. So far so good. So what I'm going to deal with mainly at the moment is how do we get icons that go to tools into the head-up display area. So this is called the head-up display, anything that's inside your graphic area, which is available to you. So you can put as many commands as you want in here. Obviously it'll get a bit cluttered. Or you can take some away. One more thing just before we continue with how to do that is right in the top here is your search commands bar. If you click in here, you can say you want to find a command. It's a line, right? You'll see, let's type in line. You'll see that line will appear. You can either click on that command, in which case you can select the sketch and start sketching, right? I'm going to exit that. Or if you type that in, and let's just do that from the beginning, it should show a little eye on the right hand side here. If you click on the eye, it'll actually take you to the command. So it'll show you where the command is. You saw that little red arrow. So you can find any command you want here. If you are used to using that, that's probably a very quick way of working. Right, so let's see how we actually get icons into this area, or into this area here, or into the mouse gestures, or, so there's 4 areas, or into the context menu command box, or I'm never quite sure what this is called. Anyways, this little box here, you'll find that the one below you can't really alter. I think you can sometimes, but I can't forget how to do it. But if I right click and I right click again inside here, you see it says customize. If I right click in this command bars area, I can customize. And I think that's, no, you can also customize. You can customize within any one of these, by the way, as well. So customize within that. There's another thing that you can customize. So before, yes, I think it's called it's the shortcut bar. So I think I've told you about this before. If I push the S key, you'll get this shortcut menu. There we go. You can customize that one as well. So that's 3 places that I know of that you can customize anything from. You can go from any one of those to customize any one of the others. So I'm going to go to customize my shortcut bar. You'll see that my shortcut bar is narrow and tall. I've customized it to be like that. I'm going to show you how I did it. So you'll get this customize dialog box, and at the top it'll go from toolbars to shortcut menus to commands to menus, keyboard, mouse gestures, and then this one here, which I'm not going to deal with because I forget what it does. So we were in commands, and you'll see that the graphics area that we're in shortcut bars. Shortcut bars is where we were in. But as you go along, you can see that your whatever would be available to you shows up, and this little thing you can now resize. So I can grab one of these edges. Seems not okay. I think it might be that you have to be in the actual. There we go. I can resize this one. I'm not sure why I can't resize the other one. So that's what yours would normally look like. Let's say I wanted to add a command to this, then I can go to this toolbar command at the top. I think in later versions you've actually got a search button, so you can search for any command you want. But it's on the right hand side here. It might be in here. No, that's just a help button. But I don't have that functionality. I can add something that I want to, that should be added into this. So I'm going to go to this, because this is to do with features, or I can use sketches. So let's go to features, find features. And let's say I want to put a simple hold command. I just drag that icon and let go, and it'll pop it into my toolbar. If I want to take something away, let's say I want to take away insert sketch, I just drag it, and as soon as it becomes has this cross on, you let go, and it disappears from your shortcut toolbar. So I in fact want to get rid of that, because I've got my whole manager here, whole wizard, sorry, and I want to go back to sketches. And I want to say insert sketch is important to me. And I want to put it, let's say, quite high up the tree, just here after fillets. Okay, so, and I wanted to go back to this long, thin, tall thing, because I find it easier to find commands like that. Once I've got exactly what I want, I say OK. Right, so there, if I push the S button again, you'll see I get that. I've got my shortcut set up such that if I click, I've got my shortcut bar in my gesture. So I will show you how to do that as well. Let's show you how to put anything inside this area, or inside the head-up display area, or inside this context menu. So I'm going to customize the context menu. Here's the graphics area. Let's try and resize it from here. Okay, it's easy. Okay, right. So that one's not resizable. That's why I can't do anything with it. Before I do this, have a look, just note some of these commands, like this delete one, which I suspect I created. and this show all one, which I didn't. If I go OK, you will see that if I right click again, you'll see that those commands don't appear in here. That's because there is nothing to be deleted and there is nothing to zoom out to. So you'll only get the commands that apply, and some of them might be grayed out if they're sort of available but not in the context that you're in. So let's customize again. Let's say I want to add into this area. Let's take this one away. All right, so I want to add that dynamic mirror command back in. I can go to, I think it's in Sketch, so in my case I have to know where these commands are. I'll go looking for them. Yours, you can just type in their mirror and you'll get all of them. I'll just drag this across to where I want it to be. All right, and then sometimes you can drag these into other spots. It doesn't always do what you want it to do, so I might be able to do that, for instance. I don't know if that'll come through, because with this graphics area context menu, it's not as configurable, at least not in my version, as with the shortcut bar. So I go, OK, right click, there we go. I don't think it's changed. No, it hasn't. Might have. Doesn't really matter. I still have access to the ones I want. So the same thing then can be applied to the head-up display. Just go customize. I'm going to take my measure tool away, or let's take away the convert entities. I just drag it somewhere else where it says take it away, and then I'm going to go find that one. Where would that be? That would be under commands, sketch, as far as I know, and then it's dynamic. There we go. And no, it wasn't that. It was convert entities. There we go. Convert entities. So I just drag it to where I want it to be and let go. So I've added the 3 mirror commands. I could add a 4th one, but I don't use the dynamic mirror one a lot. And then I've got normal 2 and then centerline added to mine. Okay, so that's one way of adding to your set of nearby commands. Another way is within any one of these environments, you have to be in them first. So I don't think I can go there from here. Yes, I can. All right. So once you've got this customize button open, you can go to most of these environment or these areas. And let's say delete face wasn't here. I can then go to features. I can find delete face. No, that would be under surfaces. And I can insert it. So there's one I use a lot, delete face or replace face. I use those a lot in the features manager. Or I could put them into surfaces as well. So I could go like this. So you can put any command in any one of these, I think, to some extent, and say we're okay. All right, so there's my S command again. The last one to show you then is how to customize your mouse gesture. So toolbars, these we've dealt with already. So I can, if I click on blocks, for instance, it'll put it on the left-hand side here. If I go like this, there you see it appears. So I can add blocks or any one of these assemblies. Shortcut bars we've dealt with, so that's that one there. And in each context, like within assembly or drawing, you'll get different shortcut bars. And then commands we've dealt with, that's like the major area. And then menus, you can rename or remove. Keyboard UI, this is a good one. So if I want to shortcuts for a command, let's say I want to the copy move command, right? So I just say, I type in copy and I go and look for the copy move copy command. And you see I've actually got an M in there already. I don't think it's put it in, but I'm going to put in an M. There we go. Or I could say Control M. Let's see, Control M might be taken. That's Shift M, Control M. But I just want M. That's all I want. So if I've got that in there, when I go back to my commands, I can activate that command by just pushing that key on the keyboard. Say, okay. Right, to the mouse gestures, which is the big one. You'll see that you will have something that looks like this. If I can find it. Oh dear, I can't find it. Right, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these, in a row. I had it available earlier, but it's disappeared for the time being. Anyways, you'll have them on the side here, and you can just drag your commands across to the relevant shortcuts. No, not shortcuts. Mouse gesture. If you don't have that, you can just double click on any of these environments. So there's the part, the assembly, the drawing, and the sketch environment. If I double click on it, I can find all of my gestures with the relevant commands on the left hand side. I could use this show only commands with mouse gestures assigned. Then I'll get all of the mouse gestures in all of the environments, and I can see what commands are assigned to them. But let's say I want to change. Let's say instead of having save in the top left hand corner, I want to put another command. So I would then have to scroll down and find that command. So you can see it says in categories. I can just scroll down to, I think it's sketch or tools. There we go. So let's say I want to put the center rectangle into the sketch environment, but it's going to be that top left hand one. If I click on here, I can get this drop down button. And this is quite tricky for me, but for you it'll be easier because you've got the visuals. You can see where they go. You can just drag it. But it's this one here, right? So if I go back to show only commands for mouse gestures, and I click twice in sketch, you can see that instead of save in the center rectangle, I now have I have this one here. I mean, save here, it's got center rectangle. So how do you add a shortcut bar? Because I've got the shortcut bar in here. It's very easy. I'm going to untick that. You just type in shortcut bar, and you'll see shortcut bar available for all of these environments. And in each one, I've put it into the right hand gesture because that's the one I use the most. So that's easier for me to find instead of pushing the S button. So in each one, I've got the shortcut bar in the mouse gestures, and I've got eight gestures. You can have from 2 to 12. So that's how you do it. So once you've got all of that done, let's just double click on that, and you're happy with it, you now want to be able to keep SolidWorks doing what you've got there. So go to this options button, but don't click on the options. Click on the little arrow on the right hand side. Go to the Save Restore Settings button, and you'll get the SolidWorks Copy Settings wizard. You can either restore settings, in other words, bring in settings you have somewhere else, or in this case, we want to save settings. So it's ticked already. Say next. Here you can specify whether you wanted to save all the settings. You can decide on that, and then you can browse just to make sure that the settings are in the place that you want them to be. They're in the place that I've asked you to set up in my case, and I've got them named as SolidWorks Settings 2023. If you wanted different versions, you could rename this. So let's say I wanted this one to be B or C or later, whatever. You can put your name in there, anything, save. It'll now, when I say finish, it'll say, do you really want to save this? Say yes. Well, it's done it for you. And that's what you've got. So let's say I've had a different set of settings that I take that settings with me to another computer, and I load them in there, and I've got remember the file location things. So make sure that your file locations are ones that are accessible on the new computer. Then I can go to this and I can say Save Restore Settings, and instead of saving the settings, I can restore settings, and this time I'm going to restore my old settings. So I'm going to select this one, say next, and then it'll load those settings instead of the ones that you might have just saved. And that's how you do it. So I hope you have questions for me on Thursday and that I can answer them. See you then.